Good day, it's Wayne Woods, and I'm a retired letter carrier, retired all in one piece. Today is August the 20th, so this is a current video, and there's been a lot of talk about SSD and sort of all kinds in the plant. I'll tell you, when I started, clerks, we had something called cull mail. So people used to throw all their mail in the mailbox in front of the post office, wherever you were. That mail would be taken inside, and the clerks inside had a big table, and they'd all work around the table. They'd be pulling off letters that are in different cities that are close by. They also do it when the drivers brought in the mail and dumped it on the table. They would it's called cull mail. So any mail for your city that came, someone put in there, like today, they would get it tomorrow wherever it is in town if someone wants it mailed in town. Not like now where it goes to from Nanaimo to Ladysmith and down to Victoria and over to. They were spending. I mean, whoever was picking up that mail in the middle of the night, or probably around 6-ish, would be heading to Victoria, passing through Ladysmith, would pick it up, put it on the 5-ton, then they'd go through Duncan, and then it would just go on and on down to Victoria. Instead, this new method they got is absolutely bizarre. The whole thing behind it was to get rid of clerks, because there was a lot of sorting for clerks, and get rid of that second sort. So in the morning, when you come in now, you have your mail single sort. You have it sorted for you in a box, all line of travel, and you just stand there and pump it into the case or the frame or whatever you want to call it. Before, you'd come in, you'd pick up your mail from the clerk cases. Everybody had a slot. You'd pick up your mail, you'd sort that, and then you'd work on the trays that came from the wherever it was, the sorting plant, Vancouver or wherever. I'm talking about the West Coast right now. It could be anywhere. So anyhow, that was one of their plans. So in 2000, it was around 2008, 2009, Stephen Harper was the provocateur of the postal workers, always thinking we're lazy bums and everything else. So Stephen Harper and the Conservatives decided, forget the rule on the post office having to go to Parliament and ask for a 1 cent or 2 cent increase. Do whatever the hell you want, I don't care. They removed that provision. That's why at that point the mail jumped up by, I think it was 50%. So it used to be 65, it went up to 90 something. So that's an increase of 50%. So if you're running a big mailing house, you're going, holy smoke, 50% increase, and you're on top of your mailing budget is huge. And the whole idea was to choke off the business, so they could say, oh, it wasn't us, it was, the business. They don't want to use this anymore. I think that was disgusting myself. And they were also allowed to charge what they wanted for parcels. And if you go to a sub office, apparently, sub offices, these little grocery stores and stuff, they can charge whatever they want for the parcels, as long as they give Canada Post the amount that's on the meter for the weight of the parcel. So it's just a bunch of nonsense. And it really, what happened was it was the first step of privatizing the post office. So that's why you have the SSD. So when let's put it this way, when we went out on strike, and I believe that was, let me think, about 2011, somewhere around there, everybody would come in the morning, and we'd have anywhere, depending on where your walk was, what type of housing and stuff, you'd have anywhere from 3 trays of mail up to 10 trays of mail. Rural routers would have like 15 trays of mail. About a week after this happened, it dropped right off to maybe 1 tray each. It was intentional. And then they said, well, all the clerks are standing around, we won't replace them, and this, we won't do that, we won't do that. So that's what they're doing, right? So that's why I'm surprised the public isn't complaining, because I get a letter, my insurance company says, don't worry, we'll mail you your insurance contract for your house. Oh, okay, perfect. A week later, I still haven't seen it. Throw in 2 weekends, that's another 2 days. So it's 7 days, more 11 days to go from 8 blocks away to my house. It was all over the place. And here's the secret they have. Before, when they did cull mail, all the mail was run through a meter. It was run through a machine. It canceled it and it put a date on it. So that was the date that they received it. That's not what they're doing now. What they're doing now is, if you look on the back of the letters in kind of a funny pink color, you can read the date that it went through the machine. Well, it doesn't go through the machine until they get to the plant. So it could be on its merry journey for 2 weeks, then show up in the plant and date it for today, and someone gets it tomorrow, and they go, oh, that was only 1 day. It wasn't 1 day. Could have been weeks. Who knows? And the place I'm in now is a condominium. Took 2.5 weeks to get a letter down to Victoria, and it was a payment for services on the property. So, yeah, they have no interest in what they're in there for, is to destroy the post office. It's just awful. And it didn't start with the Liberals. I don't know if it did or not, but it was this whole mentality of, we're going to get you. And all these new people now don't understand. We were the public football being kicked around by everybody. Even, if people don't like the post office, well, we were one of the big unions that got maternity leave. I'll bet you everybody that has a mother that's still around, and yourself and your wife and everybody else, got maternity leave because of the big unions. People looked up to us because when it come time to negotiate, and they say, I want what they have. But we seem to have lost that shine. I don't know what that's all about. But anyhow, just to clarify the whole thing about the SSD, what happened. Before, everybody was working, mail got delivered sometimes the next day, and they said, well, why am I paying for priority post to have it delivered the next day when this guy's getting it on a stamp for free, for the price of a stamp? It was all greed. It makes no sense. And way back when this started, this whole cutback thing, and I think it was around 87 with Mulroney. And the argument was, why is Canada Post struggling with this management they have? Because Canada Post has an outlet or a sub-office, because it's really remote, to deliver mail to everywhere in Canada. Unlike regular drivers, they couldn't figure it out. It just reminds me of Sears when they went out of business. As soon as Amazon came in, Sears was Sears Roebuck, who cornered the whole mail order. You could order a piano, or probably could order a horse if you wanted one, through a mail order house, which was Sears and Roebuck. As soon as Amazon came in, they had a bunch of CEOs at Sears that couldn't figure it out. If you had the most famous book in the history of the world for ordering stuff, why couldn't you do Amazon? This is where we're at with this Canada Post. It's like, again, back to the old thing, cutting that piece of wood and it's still too short. Some of these people haven't figured it out. So I don't really know. You can't just solve it by wishing it away, and you can't solve it by cooperating, because the more you cooperate and make it work, they keep doing it. They keep cutting that piece of wood, and you're going, oh, it's still too short. Maybe we should cut it again. All these cutbacks, you think the boss isn't watching you, you're fooling yourself. That's how it got to where it is today. I was warned when I started in 1981 to do it by the work pattern, because Canada Post didn't like the route measurement system, because it frames them into a certain way of assessing letter carrier routes, unlike the Americans. And so what they wanted was to find ways to cut. And originally, it was like a sin to take your car. It was a sin to crisscross and all this sort of nonsense, and signing off registers and carting them before you even take them out, all that nonsense. They knew that. They knew everything they were doing. Now, they don't need to be a real spy anymore. They have that PDT that you have to walk around with. Tells you where you're going, where you're at, and how much you like crisscrossing, or how much you like using your own vehicle. Your own vehicle is only supposed to take you to your first stop as a replacement for a taxi or a bus. That's all it's there for. So if they catch you driving around with your own car instead of stopping and getting out, depending on how much they like you, you could be in big trouble for using your private vehicle. And not only that, you could be in real trouble with your insurance company. So there's a lot of things going on. But you know what? Don't blame the union. The union is represented or run, the power runs in the membership. So the membership of the union is going to tell you, this is what's happening, and it's up to you to act on it. Well, I haven't heard much acting. What I've heard is slamming the president of the union, your shop stewards who work for free. All these people out there doing work for you. It's like you didn't like a sermon on a Sunday, so you crap all over your pastor or minister or whatever he is. It's nonsense. It's a bunch of nonsense. I got taken back when this route measurement thing was very serious for Canada Post. They didn't like it. I got taken under the wing, and they said, "This is no joke. They're after you. They're after everybody." I've been suspended, so I don't even know how many times now. But it's like, I did all that for you. I didn't do it for me. I was a shop steward. I was a shop steward 6 months after my probation. I went to a shop steward meeting and I went to a route measurement meeting, and I wasn't even a carrier. I was a MSC, and I wanted to know about carriers. So I was fully informed before I got to the carrier. And I believe this is where it ends up, that everybody at some point is going to have to have a route measurement course. There is a connection between your shortcuts, your sorting shortcuts, your driving your car, there's a connection between that and job losses. So when you say, well, it's only 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, then they come back again. They used to do a restructure every 3 to 5 years. Now it's probably every 6 months, because they know they can catch you in more. They can get you in more. It's no problem. And so you say, oh, it's only 10 minutes, only 10 minutes. When I went to work at a northern station, I won't say their names, in a northern station, they had 100 and something, or 75 carriers and a whole pile of clerks, because it was a big sorting area. And it was in the north. They had a lot of carriers. Then the boss started hiring his friends and families and the guy that shared the cottage with him, and they would do anything he wanted to do. He'd just go like this. That was him. I don't see anything. But when you're in trouble, he sees something. You say, yeah, I let you do that, but not that. So these people couldn't figure out, piece it together, why every time they lost 6 or 7 walks. And I said, you not only lost 6 or 7 walks, everyone gained a piece of it. Everybody gained a piece. So when you're doing a volume count and you're not saying, oh, don't worry about the parcel, I'll card that. Whoever's going to get, when they do the restructure, may get a piece of your route. That's why it's my business if you're not cooperating with the proper values on a restructure. Because it ends up on other people's walks. It doesn't stay on yours, and it's not your walk after that. People bid on it and it's gone. And that's what's happened. So single sword, all this stuff, everybody asked for it. Everybody asked. They even show the boss, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? Why don't we do that? As a matter of fact, I don't know, I was the only person in the last probably 15, 20 years of my, other than the station I was in Courtenay, everywhere I went, nobody was taking a lunch. I'm sitting there, I'm the only guy in the lunchroom. I'm sitting there reading a newspaper for my lunch. And they go, you finished? No, I'm having my lunch and I'm going out in the cab. Well, you can't take a cab. Oh, yes, I can. And I used to take a cab out. I never not had my lunch. I never crisscrossed. I never crossed anybody's lawn. And I never took shortcuts. Ask anyone. They thought it was nuts. But I retired in pretty good shape. And I am still in good shape. I'm going to be 74 this year. So it's been good to me. Not Canada Post. They've been weird. The union has been very good to me. And the union isn't there to come and inform you. They put up the bulletins for you to read. You know where they are. You can go online now, and all the bulletins are on there. I read them, and I'm not even in the station. So you have a responsibility to educate yourself. And the clerks never had a problem with the clerks as a president or a shop steward. They knew their stuff. They knew their time values. They didn't have time values. What they were supposed to do, and they can only measure the group with the clerks. They knew all their stuff. They knew what the boss could do and what he couldn't do. They filed so many grievances. They were perfect. Then the carriers, they only went, why do I have to come back for lunch? I don't want to come back for lunch. And then I got to go bring my car back here and back in. Well, you're using your car? No, I don't know how I'm getting back here. They know how you're getting back there because you're not signing for a cab. They know all this stuff. So what I can tell you is most of the answers is with you, not with the people in Ottawa. They're not in the station. They're working with what's going on in your station. And what's going on in some of these stations is name calling. They're not going to get you anywhere. And you know, I don't know how you're going to figure it out. But the first step is to take a course, as if you're a carrier, take a course on route measurement, and then maybe take another one, and you could teach the course, and you're local, and the union would pay to have you off and teach it on a Saturday or Sunday with some meals and stuff. But complaining about it when you don't understand it makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. And complaining to the boss about your shop steward is like standing on a box with a noose around your neck and said, I can't seem to get it right. Can someone help me tie this? Because that's what you're doing. So that's what I think. I don't know. Think what you want. Think I'm crazy, whatever else. But route measurement is killing you. Not the boss, not the union. These people are just running in there saying to the boss, why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? And they're all the bosses. They're pretty much all nepotism in the place now. So they all run in right across the country. You know, I got my next door neighbor a job, so he's going in. All these people complain to me, Mr. President, and like the CEO of Canada Post. Oh yeah, they all want this, they all want that. Yeah, they come in our office all the time. And they throw it on the negotiation. So you're bringing this stuff on yourself. You've got to say no to things you're not given credit for. You've got to say no to using your vehicle, even if they're paying you. That's the problem. They're not paying you. Think about it. You're only paid to go 2 stops. Well, actually 4. One out to your morning, 1 back in, and then 1 out in the afternoon. So, what do you get? 4 little trips in your car. So the rest of the time you're using your car, you're not given credit for it. So you're running the crap out of your car for what? So they can cut more jobs? They cut jobs with that. They even got rid of cabbies. So anyhow, I've rambled long enough. But that's what SSD, what it used to be, was call mail, and it was all sorted. So it was, I don't know, 2-3 days. Remember, if anybody remembers, it was 2 days across the country. 2 days in the province and three days across the country. What happened to that? Now it's like they strap it on the back of a turtle and point them towards Quebec or something. They go deliver that there, take that with you. I don't get it. Anyhow, have a good day and start being tough about this stuff. This is your life. This is your family. This is your pension. This is everything that's supposed to keep you going until you're 55, I don't know, 60. I don't know whatever age you want to stay till. Anyhow, enjoy the rest of your day, but I didn't mean to ramble, but I did. So what? I'm retired, I can do that. So have a great day, and solidarity, and hope the best on your activities.